Hi everybody, welcome back. We're going to continue talking about how to grow and maintain indoor vines, otherwise known as a pothos or a philodendron. And if you've seen any of my other YouTubes, I talked about how philodendrons and pothos have similar growing requirements, so I'm going to just talk about them interchangeably. And the purpose of this video is I'm going to explain how to propagate a pothos, meaning like how to take either cuttings or little pieces of one plant and then have them grow into a full other plant. With a pothos, it's really easy because they're really hardy and they have the way they grow is it's just super easy for propagating. And the reason is they have all of these little nubs right there. I don't know what they're called, but these are like root systems. So if these are near soil, they'll start to grow into the soil, growing a new plant, which means that you can cut it here and the rest of the plant's going to grow. It's really easy. So what I've done with this guy is the reason I chose this plant is that I don't want this one to become a vine. I want it to just be like bushy and full and in this big pot, unlike my other pothos where I wanted it to grow down and like have that whole vine effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start trimming all of the pieces that have started growing around the edge, and then I set them off to the side. So I already started a little bit. I'm just going to finish. What I like to do is if you do cut them below one of the where the roots would grow out. It'll make it easier. And that looks good. And the reason I do this is with pothos, if you keep them trimmed and you keep it really tight, it'll force more leaves to grow on the inside, and so it won't be thin, it'll be really full. Like this one that's grown into a vine, you can see how it's a lot thinner and everything has become a little bit leggy. On this one I keep it trimmed so it's much fuller and has that really full look to it. Alright, so we have the cuttings. And this is the really easy part. I'll show you some examples. This is what I do every time I cut pothos. All I do is I just take them, I find a little pot or whatever, and then I just fill it with water and you just stick them in there. And these are a couple months old. This one is also a couple months old. You can see the root system, so you put it in water and it's going to start regrowing a new root system. And then you can see it has like new growth. It pretty much just starts growing a new plant. So what I'll do is, if you just want to make sure it fits into the pot, right here, anywhere where it's gonna not fit, I just make sure I cut it. Just like there. And there. There, we'll do it a little higher. And there you go. I have a beaker, just a random beaker, so I'm just gonna stick all of them in there, like this. There you go, and just leave it for 2 or 3 weeks, and you're gonna see a root system grow out, and before you know it, you're gonna have an entire new plant growing out of it. The reason I leave them in here is like, you might want to just give it to a friend, or you don't really know what you want to do with it. It's really easy because you just change the water whenever it starts getting low. You don't have to do anything beyond that. What I'm going to do in another video is I'm going to show you how you repot propagations and regular plants. It's a little bit tricky with these because their transition from water to soil can be a little bit jarring to the plant. You're not going to get it's not going to have a dieback, but you're going to notice that it's not growing as fast as it was in the water, but I'll cover that in another YouTube. But as for right now, if you want to propagate it, just remember to cut right below one of those little root nub things, and make sure that you have some kind of vase where you can put it in where it covers water as maybe like 2 or 3 inches. And then just keep an eye on the water, make sure it doesn't look too low, and over time you'll see it'll start growing and you'll have these cool little pothos plants. And that's about it.